Hello everyone, it has been some time but I'm back, and today we are racing the brand new Ferrari 499 in the new iRacing series, which is the Prototype Challenge, a fixed 20-minute race with only the fastest GTPs. And because this is done in the run up to the Daytona 24, we are at the fantastic Daytona road course. So as we get underway here, we're just going to simply let everything play out because we all know what it's like here at Turn 1 Daytona. We're going to take it nice and easy as we are at the back, having not qualified for this one. Just trying to ease myself back in because this was the first race in this car for me. And we're going around the outside and we already have our first incident there, so I'm going to just try and thread the needle. We're able to get through, but that's not the only one. We've got another incident ahead of us, multiple cars going off. A bit of a netcode collision there, so I'm not sure what's happened with this BMW ahead of us. It's going to keep to the inside, so we've got a nice little gap here and some space. But we are side by side now, the Acura, so I'm just going to back off, let them get ahead of us. Since the changes to the tyres, these cars do take quite a few laps to get up to temperature, and as you can see there, that Acura is going to lock up. I'm going to get a big squirrel on here, just trying to get that power down. It's very difficult, but I at least feel like I can control and fight to get that power onto the tarmac. And again, coming onto the oval here, squirreling a little bit, and you see the Cadillac in the background there. I'm not sure what he was doing, going through the cones like that. I'll have netted him a nasty slowdown, as iRacing is pretty strict on these track limits. And now we're coming up to the bus stop and we're still on cold tyres here, so I have to be careful. I'm slowing down, I'm feeling like I'm doing good enough here, but we're just understeering too much on the power and we get that dreaded slowdown. Looks like I'm not the only one with that BMW ahead of us also getting that slowdown, but I'm just trying to get mine away sooner. And we're going to lose a position to the Acura here, but I'm going to slot in behind them, try and get some speed back. Got a big group behind us, so I'm going to defend to the inside, being cheeky and using that full extent of the track whip. Nearly 3 wide into turn 1 here, so I'm just going to try and stay to the inside as much as possible. Get really close to that Acura ahead of us, but we are through. Not the greatest exit though, so it's not over yet. We've got a Porsche behind us and he's going to have a look to the outside.
Still there.
Being cautious there, not going all the way out, but he's falling back behind us and we finally have secured our position. So we'll have a look what happened just then, coming into the inside, all those cars dancing around each other on the outside, but we were through. But you can see that Porsche was right behind us here, challenging us, so I had to stay in the middle of the track. And he does well to try and go to the outside, but he gets that little lock up there, and that unfortunately curtailed his chance. This is what happened on lap 1. This is the poor yellow Ferrari, just gets caught from behind by that Acura, and that just turns him around completely. And unfortunately he did tag this blue Ferrari we see here, and that little touch there gave him a terrible bit of damage there to the chassis, and he gets caught on the curb bump and catches another car out with it. This was the lead Ferrari who thought he was home free, but he did lock up coming into the first horseshoe on those cold tyres. And as you can see there, the car just does not want to stop. So we're going to rejoin later on lap 2. The tyres are starting to get a little bit better here. I'm getting a bit more confident through the bus stop that time. No off track and no slowdown. I'm catching up to the Acura ahead of us, who's had a couple mistakes on the earlier part of the lap, so I'm hoping that I can use turn 1 at Daytona to try and get past him. It's going to be my best overtaking opportunity throughout this race. So I'm just watching him now, seeing if he's going to go defensive. He's not, he's going all the way to the outside there, so I'm going to try and be cheeky and go down that inside. Very trusting of him. You can see he had to back out of that turn, but I was there and we get through and get the position on him. And we'll see here just how close he came to me here. I was alongside at the apex, which by F1 rules is all you need. Now that move put me up behind Chung, but it did take a few laps to catch up to him really, because he was quite good in that BMW. He was involved in that netcode incident on lap 1, but it doesn't look like it's phased him at all. So I'm going to try and put some pressure on him here, show my nose into the first horseshoe, but he's unfazed. I get a terrible exit here, crossing that curbing, which unsettles the car. I just can't get that power down, which is crucial here in these cars. It'd take another 2 laps for me to catch back up because he had that great pace, but we're right up behind him again now. Coming out of turn 1, I'm within striking distance, but I'm just going to settle in behind him. There's not much point unless I can make it stick, overtaking him on the earlier part of the lap. Really, it is all down to turn 1 at Daytona, so for now, I just need to really stick close to him and set up when we get to the bus stop. Into the second horseshoe, I really felt good in that corner with the Ferrari, just being able to trail brake the exact amount so I could carry that speed. And then here, coming onto the oval, though, I get a bit too cheeky that time, cutting that inside corner. I felt I was able to really put the power down now the tyres were up to temperature. And you can see just how close that's put us to the BMW ahead of us. This is going to be the crucial point now coming into the bus stop here. I don't want to be too close just in case he has a mistake. I want to be close enough so I can strike on the exit. And now here we go, focusing on the exit. I go too wide and get that off track, but thankfully I don't get the slowdown and we are now well within the tow. It's not much on these cars, and I did feel though on the fixed setup the Ferrari was a little bit more slippery compared to the other GTPs. So we're now going to be alongside, but it's not far enough. He's still there on the inside onto turn 1, so I'm just going to try and pull it around the outside, carry as much speed as possible and give him that space. It's just not enough. It's so easy to defend into turn 1, and I'm not close enough into the first horseshoe to make a move there. So again, settling behind him. And we're going to have a look here. You can see we were side by side as close as possible. He's really aiming though for that tight line, which is key to defending here. And he's just able to still carry enough speed there where even though I was going wide and carrying a lot more momentum, I couldn't make it stick. So later that lap he did pull a bit of a gap to me here, and I don't get the best exit out of the bus stop with that 1X.
Keep it between the white lines.
But I'm going to start drawing closer here. That top speed of the Ferrari starting to come into play. We're slowly crawling up behind him. We're catching, but it's not going to be enough there. I just need to see, is he going to defend? Yes, he is staying to the inside, so I'm out to the outside again. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go for a switchback, see if he opens up. And there it is, there's the gap. I dive in, being very careful not to understeer out. And that puts us alongside through the S's. We're banging doors, but we're still side by side into the first horseshoe. I've got to be careful here. I want to hold him tight, but not squeeze him too much. I want to get the power down now. Ah, we've done it. We've got ahead. That was very close racing between us, but it is not over yet. He is still right behind, so I now need to hold him off for the rest of the lap and get enough of a gap. As we come through the second horseshoe, I get a good exit and we manage to draw out. So we're going to see now the switchback of dreams. I really go to the outside there, but I dive up the inside and see that gap open up, and I've got to be very careful not to understeer into Chung. But we've made it work, and though we have a little bit of netcode between the S's, we're still side by side. A lot of respect given. And this was the key moment here. I had to hold him tight, but I had to get a good exit myself, being careful not to squeeze him too much. And that put us ahead, at least coming into the second horseshoe, but he was still right there behind me. My job now, as I said, was just to try and extend that gap. I needed to be far enough away before we got back into turn 1. And we just about managed it. You can see just how close we are coming onto the oval here. I have to take a moment to appreciate just how good these cars look on the track now since iRacing updated their graphics engine for what is a 12-year-old game now, looking at least respectable by modern standards. But of course we're all here for the racing itself, not the graphics, and you can see just how fast that BMW was in a straight line. I do make a big mistake into here. I get that understeer and I've got to slow down to avoid the iRacing slowdown. But unfortunately for Chung, he did get that slowdown himself. As you can see, he's falling back behind us on the oval. And that was going to be the last opportunity he had to catch up behind us. So we crossed the line here on the last lap in P6. A great finish there for what was a fantastic battle between me and Chung, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I hope you all have enjoyed this return video for me. So please leave a like and subscribe, as that really helps me on the channel. I hope to get more of these videos out in between work in the future, so I will catch you next time.